everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our Aperture camera card. Now this is the prototype here, but you can see that we've created a aperture ring that actually opens and closes. So we'll put that together last. In the meantime, we're going to start off by just putting together the camera base. Okay, so let's start off with these two pieces here. This one has a little tab on it, and then this guy is just the back. It's shaped very similarly, but it's the only one that has these little notches on it, and that's typically what you would connect your camera strap to. You could probably tie some string to it if you want, or whatever. Just thought it was a nice little touch. I'm going to spread this glue out to the edge of the tab, and then these are just going to go on top of each other nice and flush, and that will help kind of determine where that tab needs to sit. So just get these two sections on top of each other. This is going to be our front. I'm going to match that up as accurately as possible, just like that. Very simple. Okay, and then we're going to open this up, and you can see the tab there. This is the little piece that you're going to write on. Okay, so let's get that glued into place. Nice and easy with the glue here. Sometimes on pieces like this, if you cake it with glue, it kind of warps the paper a little bit, and the glue kind of pokes through and looks a little unsightly. Get that nice and centered. You should have an even border going all the way around. And we did, if you did want to attach something to these little thingies there, we did take and reinforce that. Okay, so what you're going to do, it's actually 2 layers on each side. So you just take 2 of these and pop them on top of each other, like so. And then we'll take and just glue that right to the back of the card. That also will give it a little bit of added dimension, which is nice. And like I said, if you do decide to put some ribbon through there, it's pretty small, so you're probably gonna have to use some sort of maybe twine or just some string. Okay, and then we'll just throw a little bit of glue on the back of one half of this and just line that up with that little guy there, like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Pretty straightforward so far, and the little aperture mechanism actually isn't, it looks complicated, but of course that's why we do our videos, to make sure that you get it done right. Now what we're going to do is start kind of building the layers of the camera. Now Diana loves things that move, so we're going to take this little gear and take this small donut shape and glue it to this little dial. It kind of looks like a little gear. Okay, press that together. Okay, now before we do anything else, you're going to take this piece, and you can see where this little section sticks out. You want to get that glued down right onto the card base. And I did strategically ink this camera in the spots where, you know, it's going to be visible, because there's some spots that kind of sit on top of each other, and like this whole thing, you don't want to ink this whole thing because you're just going to be covering it up with another piece on top. But this piece does need to go in here first. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to actually install our little gear first. The gear goes behind, and you've got a little brad. We're going to pull that apart to the side so that it spins like this. Okay, and now this is going to get glued onto this entire card front, like so. Okay, and a little bit of that back layer is going to be showing up here. That's kind of where the flash would be. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply glue to this entire thing. Try not to get any glue on your little dial. We want it to be able to spin. Okay, so just kind of keep the glue away from that area, like so. And if we need to go in and paint a little extra glue in any of these areas, that's okay. But do your best to get that lined up as accurately as possible so it's nice and flush all the way around, like so. And again, see, I'm gonna make sure that that dial spins so you can kind of just glue around it, but don't glue it down, like so. Okay, awesome. All right, next, we're gonna put this layer down, okay? And this is gonna be flush with the front of the card. You'll also notice that we also have a few little markers. There's one here, 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 and at the bottom, just to kind of guide you to make sure that you have it in the right spot. But obviously this little section here is where you want to ensure that everything is lined up accurately. And this is gonna go down flat. And we have a few little cutouts there for some little screws. Okay, and this is also where we're gonna glue our photo down. This is a very simple card, actually. The mechanism is, I think it will take us about 5 minutes to put together. It's not that big a deal. Okay, and as you can see here, I didn't ink all the way down here because that's gonna be covered up by the actual lens, so to speak. Okay, so we got that. While we're here, you can grab and install or glue down some of the little embellishments. This is, I think it's the, there's like a flash sensor or something. That's gonna go there. You've got two little holes there for the screws. It's a pretty small little piece, so just a tiny dot of glue will do. And just pop that right in there. Should fit like a little puzzle. There we go. And we'll get the other one. Just a little dot. Okay, pop that in like that. Beautiful. Okay, next, I'm gonna find this piece, and this is gonna go right here. You want that to be flush with the edge so that that pink doesn't like show through too much anyway. So just throw a little bit of glue on this piece. Okay, and there's a series of markers there as well to help you with the placement of that. But again, just make sure that it's nice and flush out to the edge. There we go. Wonderful. Then we're going to find this larger piece, and that's kind of like the grip area on the other side. You can see where the little markers are. Those are going to go right there. This section is going to go right there, I should say. This piece. This is a cool card. This is going to be great for any occasion. I mean, there's a lot of people that love photography. Even if they don't love photography, it's a very versatile card for anything really, because you get to put a photo in the center of the lens, and it's going to reveal it. It's really cool. Okay, one more little piece at the top here. Okay, this is going to go flush up here at the top, and we did this in pink just to demonstrate that, you know, I mean, there's some cool pink cameras out there. I forget the brand, but they make them. You can make this all in black. You can make this in any color you want, really. Sometimes I feel like we have to, you know, just kind of demonstrate that projects are adaptable and really versatile depending on how you make them, what colors you use, and so on. I did this to make it like dimensional. So you're gonna find this piece, and this piece is gonna go on here like so. Okay, so you can kind of see where this curve is here, and then it goes down straight, and then a little bit of that pink is still visible at the bottom. And we use like a pearlescent black on this just to kind of give it a little extra dimension. Well, I guess just to change it up a little bit, I guess. We're also going to foam square this. Okay, so just make sure you get that lined up accurately. Press that down, and then we have this little guy, and there's a little marker there to show you where to put it. And this is your, is that the shutter release? I think, maybe? No, I don't know what that is. I think this is based on a Canon. I shoot Nikon, so I don't even know what the parts are here. But it looks cool. Okay, so that's gonna go there, and then we have a little silver piece. This is a perfect oval. That's gonna go right there, right where that little shadow layer of the oval is. I think that is the shutter release. It's the button you hit to take a photo. Pretty sure. Either way. Okay. All right, so that's good. Now what we're going to do is actually take some foam squares, and we're going to use some foam squares to mount this onto the body of the camera. Okay, so let's flip that over. And I probably have some large ones somewhere, but that's fine. I don't mind using these little guys. The backing on these comes off very easily. So I'm just going to be happy crazy with the amount that I put on there, just to keep it nice and stable. Stable, stable. Okay. And that is just going to go right on the side here. You want it flush with the bottom, flush with the side. And it was a little off. There we go. Just like that. Okay, so that's going to add some beautiful dimension to that. And now you have to decide what photo to use. That should pop in there perfectly like a little puzzle. That's my little Peyton there. And I did one in black and white, but my printer, even though I told it not to use color, it almost gives it like a blue hue. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to go with the one with the color. Okay, I guess I can always change it, because the little mechanism gets pop dotted, so I can always unpop dot it, pull it off, and then there's your little photo. We've included a template that's the exact size of the photo you're going to need. Okay, so use that template to cut out your photo, and the card is almost complete. Okay, really cool so far. Now let's take a look at the actual Aperture elements. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab these two pieces, and you'll notice that there are 5 of these little, we'll call them tabs, and there's a set of, it's like double scored, so that there's a little bit of a, well, just a little bit of an area there. It doesn't just fold completely. Okay, so make sure you score those and fold at those score marks so that you have that little bit of depth between this backing and these little tabs. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we need to glue these two together, and you'll notice that there's a little B on both of these. You want to make sure that you just get those lined up. I think you could probably rotate it, and if they're not perfectly lined up, it'll still work, but just make sure you just keep it on the B. Okay, just pop that right on there, right on top of itself. There we go. Okay, next we're going to find these pieces here, and you just want to make sure that you lift up these little tabs here on the ends. Okay, and here's what I'm going to suggest. You're going to take these and we're going to feed them through these little slits like that. Okay, and you just kind of get that out of the way, and you want to make sure that they go in the correct order, just one on top of the other one, going all the way around like that. Oops. and just keep them mostly facing in the correct direction. There we go, like that. And then like that. Okay, so let's make sure that this one is going on top of this one's on top of that one, this one's on top of that one, and so on and so forth. And then they should sit nice and flat on top of each other, like that. Next, we're going to find these two pieces here. These two need to get glued onto each other, okay? And this is just to kind of thicken this up and also give it that little decorative touch there on the little handle. Okay, so let's flip this over and apply our glue to this whole thing. Whoops. Like so. And just match it up where the little handle is. And obviously you want the circles to match up as well. Like so. And press that down. Wonderful. Okay, next, again, just make sure that these are, again, I'm going to try to explain this one more time. This one, the next one, if we're going counterclockwise, okay, this one, the one that's next here, going counterclockwise, should be under it. So this one is under the one I'm holding in my left hand, and then so on and so forth. This one is under the one I'm holding in my left hand. And you should be able to do that all the way around, okay? So now, what we want to do is this little area down here that doesn't have these, there's 5 of these. We'll pull these out, make sure that they are out. Okay, there's one little section here, you'll notice that that doesn't have one. And there should be a little B right here, there is, okay? And right where that B is where you want the little handle to go, which means that these guys right here need to go into this little hole right here. This is right next to the B. Okay, and then you just need to feed the rest of these through the little hole here. It'll take a little bit of patience here, but, and then you can actually spread these out once you have them in. Spread them out so they don't come out. Just be very careful not to misalign anything. There we go. Got those in. Let's go over here, grab the next one. Pop it through. There we go. Spread those out. And then the last one here. Feed that through. Whoops. There we go. And then spread those out. There we go. Now we can actually kind of test this right now if we hold it properly. And there you go, you can see how that aperture ring works, okay? All right, now another thing we need to do here, we need to go over here, we need to fold these in. Just fold them in. Nice and flat. They're gonna stick up a little bit, but they will, once we put them down like that, they will sit flat. And then again, let's go ahead and just test this real quick. Make sure it works, and it does. Okay, so the next thing we need to do here is we're going to take this piece. So there should just be these pieces left, including the acetate. We have this, there's acetate here. You can kind of see it, and then that's going to go on last. This piece, this is the vital piece here that we need, and this is actually not going to get glued down flat. We're just going to use these little tabs. So go ahead and, again, we want to try to glue this down, and we don't want to make it tight. You want to leave that, you know how it's double scored there, leave that kind of, give that a little bit of room to breathe. Don't push it down perfectly up against the surface here. Leave a little bit of room there, just a tiny bit. Okay, and we're just going to go around here. Actually, I'm going to go over to this side now, because I want to try to keep this as centered as possible. And we'll put a little bit of glue here, then bring it down. Again, don't push it down all the way and then glue it down. Just kind of push it down and leave a little bit of a gap there. It's not very scientific, but just leave a little bit of wiggle room there. Okay. Press that down. Bring that down. And one more here. There we go. Okay, so that kind of holds everything together. Push these down again. Now check it out. There we go. And once it's actually zotted down, it'll be nice and strong for us. Okay, so next we're going to take and we're going to glue down this layer. Now this actually does get glued down, and you'll notice that there's a set of little score marks here, and that's just to kind of help you with the alignment, and also just kind of showing you to make sure that you don't put glue anywhere on the inside of that little score area. Okay, so this is going to go on like this. Okay, it's going to stick off a little bit, but that's okay. So go ahead and apply your glue to this section. Okay, and let's glue that down. Try to get it on there as centered as possible, using those little markers on the black piece as a guide, and press that down. Working very nicely. Okay, next we can put our acetate down, and these markers here are to help you, well, you want to keep the glue on the outside of the markers, and I'm just going to go very easy on the glue here. You don't really need a lot to hold this in place. There we go. I'm going to flip this over, push down from the outside, or from the back side, I should say. There we go. And if I did that correctly, I really shouldn't see any of the glue. There we go. Yep, so that looks nice. Okay. All right, so go ahead and apply your glue to this last little ring. And let's get that installed. And that's just going to be flush with the perimeter. Careful, because we are kind of gluing this down onto a little bit of acetate, which isn't very porous. It's a little slippery. Just want to make sure that it gets a good grip. Give that a final press. And I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper because I have some areas here where it just did not take. So I'm going to take and just paint a little bit of glue onto this outer ring. Get rid of that excess. And try not to blemish it, but just hold it down right in that little area where it just didn't take. And just be patient. Okay, and then take a look. Give it a once over, make sure it's sitting flat everywhere else. I got one more little area here where it kind of didn't take. So I will just paint a little extra glue right on that section. There we go. And just push that down. Wonderful. Cool. Okay. And then all that's left to do, really, if you have any of these little black tabs kind of sticking out, you can just kind of push them down a little bit. Okay, so I actually ran out of time on my camera records in 30-minute increments, and literally as I was putting this down, this final part onto the card base, it hit the 30-minute mark, so I had to pull this off and hit record again. So I've got foam squares in between these little mechanisms here. Just make sure that these are all folded down. And as we're going to keep this closed all the way. Okay, and then what we want to do, with it closed all the way, we want this little handle to match up with this little spot here. Okay, so hold it however is comfortable for you. And there should be a little border there. Like so. Press that into place. Try not to smudge up your lens. There we go. Okay, and the big reveal. There it is. Super cool. Okay, so as you're putting this down onto the surface here, just keep in mind that the diameter of the actual lens should match up with the edge of this piece right here, just the one that you're actually putting it on. Okay, and that will help keep it and make sure that it's nice and centered on the photo. Okay, but there you have it. There's the cool little mechanism, and of course, no Dreaming Tree card would be complete without a coordinating envelope to go with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that together. Only takes a second. All right, so we've got the main part of the envelope here. This is the little, this little piece is going to go back here on the main flap, which means that we can actually put glue on this entire surface, nice and easy, all the way to the bottom, around this little cutout for our little film motif. This is texture side up. Take it, slide it right up to the little fold there. Make sure it's centered, and then just take and press that down right onto that piece. There we go. And while we're here, we can take this little piece, and I think our blade housing is getting kind of goofy, especially on the black. It was not cutting it out very crisp, but that's okay. Just a lot of wear and tear on our machine from all the prototyping and all the cutting that we do here on a daily basis. Okay, and this is just going to go right over this little cutout. Just make sure you have the orientation correct. Just like that. Okay, press that down. Okay, next we're going to take and fold these in, and we're going to take and apply glue starting about here, nice and thin, right along the inside edge of this little guy. And fold that up and close it. And keep holding that for just a moment while it sets. Here we go. And as you can see here, our beautiful camera fits in there perfectly. So that's it, guys. It's going to do it for our Aperture camera card. I hope you guys love this one. I love the little mechanism, obviously. That's the draw. That's the wow factor. So anyway, you can see here, it stands up. And when they display it, whoever gets it, obviously, they can display it with the, with the photo open, mostly. There we go. Okay, and the little finishing touch here, we have this little flash piece. It's going to go right here. Just get that nice and centered right there to finish it off. And there you go. And that's going to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please visit us on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button while you're there. Hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new project, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this or anything from our latest bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. That's where you'll find myself and over 46,000 other dreamers that inspire us daily. So hope you had a blast, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos and please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section where you'll find over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly tutorials. I'll see you in the craft room.